Kelly Buffy, chair of the tourism. The backup material pretty much speaks for itself, so if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
If I read this right, Ms. Buffy, PTCC doesn't want us to donate the $13,000?
Correct.
During bright daylight, because of their white background and small lettering, they're hard to see, and at night, because they're non-reflective, they're impossible to see. So, I mean, although at first, a few meetings ago, I was pushing for the town to support our service groups and church organizations, I'd advise against any of them buying into this sign program.
I would like to bring up something else as far as the town funding these signs, and that is the fact that for you constitutionalists that there is a separation between church and state, and I would not feel comfortable funding church signs, and some of the nonprofits, the service clubs also are faith-based, and I don't know which ones are and which ones aren't. So that's another issue that hasn't been brought up. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion that the town does not contribute $13,000 for the funding of cost of church and service club signs.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Public comment?
There's no place here for this town to be paying for signs for some and not all and so on.
If the churches paid for their signs, what's $13,000 for?
The $13,000 was for the town to fund all the signs so that the churches and organizations would not have to pay for them.
Well, I've driven all over this country in my motorhome, and when you come down into a town off the freeway, those signs are paid for by the person advertising on it.
Correct.
I was just told that the churches paid for those signs. So if the churches paid for them, what's the $13,000 for?
I'm a trustee at our church, and we paid for the sign that's on the deal up there. Now, I might say one thing is that I disagree. I don't agree with one thing is the separation of church and state. That's not, to my way of thinking, this is Pahrump. This is not some other fly-by-night California town. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think that also the signs are a little bit too high.
I just wanted to take issue with your stand on church and state. There is no constitutional stand on what you said. The Constitution is very emphatic that the government cannot institute any particular religion like they did in England.
Correct.
So I just want to correct you on that.
I understand what you're saying. I don't know exactly how many signs there are, but I do know, working with NDOT, that if there were additional signs that needed to be, if people purchased additional signs or there were more churches and organizations that went up there, that they would put another set of signs up there. And we are not charging them, the tourism board is not charging them the $200 or $300. The $200 or $300 is a manufacturing cost just to make the sign itself. So that's paid, that's not paid to the tourism board, that's paid to the sign maker.
Let's call for the vote. We have a motion by Mr. Maruzio and a second by Mr. Darby not to fund the Pahrump Tourism Convention Council, the church and service clubs. Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against signify by saying nay. The ayes carry 3-0.